Welcome to the Back Kibble Podcast. My name is Dumb Jake, and I'm joined, as always, by Tfhypeguy 101.
I got Revenge of the Fallen Bumblebee because I thought we were going to talk about Bumblebee. I also have the Fallen because I thought we were going to talk about his... That's not the Fallen, that's a Bionicle. Go away. Blah.
And Perspective In.
I am in a room that looks like Lovecraft.
And we're joined today by a very special guest. He's been lighting up Twitter for the past few weeks. Has become a little bit of a Twitter marketing, guerrilla marketing icon. T-Fan... Jesus fucking Christ. Tfhypeguy.
Tfhypeguy 101.
Hello, I think everyone here should go see Transformers 1 immediately, and everyone watching this.
Oh, really? Do you? I didn't know that about you.
I have seen it twice before.
I've seen it 3 times.
Oh. I've torrented it. I mean, what?
Bro.
I did have to, I got a cease and desist because I did have to torrent it in order to get, scenes for my video on it. But I have not watched that version of it. I just, chopped the scenes out. I saw it twice in theaters.
I have not gone looking for any of those versions yet. I've seen it 8 times. 9 will be Saturday.
Wow. You probably more than all 3 of us combined.
It's definitely not more than that other guy on Twitter. That's
FC203.
Oh my god.
I would point out, man, it has been amazing to see big named dudes like legitimately giant million subscriber guys on YouTube be like, yeah, this guy Tfhypeguy. I almost did the T-fan page thing too.
I caused confusion.
This guy Tfhypeguy is been bugging me to watch this movie, and I watched it. It's actually really good.
That's been awesome to see. Unfortunately, it hasn't really translated that much to box office performance, but it's been happening.
I don't believe that for a second. I don't think that this movie would be making half the money it's made without the marketing push that you're primarily the one doing. Because
maybe
half the money it's made. Are you smoking crack? What are you talking about?
What do you mean? Am I smoking crack? The only way that it is.
I'm sorry. There's no way his marketing has pushed 50% of the tickets.
See, here's the thing: when you see
$50 million,
when you see the official marketing, you're like, oh, that's just typical sellout, whatever. But he's a genuine person who has a desire for the films.
The thing is that
I agree. I'm not arguing about that.
Here's the thing: is that the movie came out and the first week it made 24 million, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, it was 24 million.
And it's been staying incredibly consistent only because the word of mouth has been so good. And the only reason that the word of mouth has been so good is because I've seen 5 different big name YouTubers with over 1 million subs go, hey, go watch this movie. It's actually really good. All thanks to you. Which means that you are the thing driving the word of mouth right now, which I think
these past few weekends has been pretty decent when it comes to the drop in between weekends, but besides that, it's not generating that much because at the end of the day, I mean, online talk and stuff can only lead to so many ticket sales. Mm-hmm. If I get 100,000 people to see this movie, it's only gonna result in $1.5 million towards the box office, which is very small compared to the total.
Still a crazy amount of money.
It is a crazy amount of money, but
I'm trying to discount you, but
it's not gonna completely change the trajectory of it. But it can keep it to a way that it'll be consistent for the next few weeks.
It has been remarkably consistent on weekends. It almost makes every weekend almost makes the same amount of money that it did that first weekend, which is really interesting. But my point is that it's not all people who saw you say it and then go saw it, or the people who saw the videos by the people who you convinced to see it. Charlie, Charlie Critical, and all
Moist
those.
Critical.
It's the people those people who were convinced by those things talked to.
Yeah, well, that's how word of mouth spreads. I mean, you just have to have as many people as possible talk about it.
I think it's also because. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's also because people really did not get the vibe of this movie from the first trailer, and just thought, okay, it's a typical animated Transformers. Not that there's anything bad about that, but just it's not anything that I need to go out and see. So hearing the word of mouth that it's actually pretty good, it's kind of like what they did with the Puss in Boots movie. because people were kind of taken back and thinking, "Oh, I don't really need to see it." But then word of mouth was really good, and then that started to actually climb surprisingly more revenue as time was going on. Like usually with movies, they have a certain percentage drop in the following weekends, but this one kept going up, which was a big surprise.
That's the very strange thing about this Transformers movie, is that the word of mouth on this movie is amazing. Everyone is like going on, like it's so good. But like, how bad must the Transformers going public be on these movies in general for them to for this to not have the same trajectory that Puss in Boots had? I mean, it's staying not strong, but it's not really getting weaker as time goes on. It's just staying at the same consistent level. Whereas Puss in Boots was getting better and better and better very, very, very fast.
Yeah, well, you see, what ended up happening is that the reason that it hasn't had a success story yet is just because, there's another movie out. There's another family movie that has robots that has a lot of word of mouth. It's basically just, when it comes to these things, it's the competition is always fierce, and one is always going to eat up the other. They're usually never going to help each other out. So basically, any word of mouth that Transformers has generated, it's good, but it's not going to convince people to see it over the Wild Robot, which has stronger word of mouth.
Yeah,
and
the Wild Robot is
and to be fair, this is also just kind of like a really competitive season right now. There's a lot of movies out that people really want to see.
The best part, though, is that a lot of the movies that are coming out are really bad, like Joker 2.
Well, Joker 2 has had an insane fall off, so...
not even an insane fall off. It had an insane kick to the balls as the start, and then it just got worse from there.
Yeah.
I really respect Todd Phillips for wasting Warner Brothers $200 million. I think that was really bold of him, and really added to the Tfhypeguy.
He's the Ryan Johnson
marketing strategy.
He's the Ryan Johnson of DC, apparently.
I did notice, when Joker was failing, that's when I saw you a lot more under comments.
Yeah, well, that's when I seized my opportunity to make myself known.
So I want to rewind a little bit. You've been on Twitter for a while. You used to do the same thing you do now for Rise of the Beasts. Were you around before Rise of the Beasts?
Well, I've been on Twitter before that, but I only started the account to hype up Rise of the Beasts in 2022, in May of 2022. So.
Okay.
I remember when I shouted that out, and then that blew the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, I did ask. I can't even remember what video that was, but I do remember when I was like, I finally have something to shout out, so maybe I should ask.
That's even kind of like the tone that you took with it. Is, hey, I've been watching you for a while, but I finally have something I want you to shout out. That's almost exactly what you said.
I remember admittedly getting annoyed because there was. I didn't feel like there was going to be a trailer at this certain day, but you were pushing that, I think there's going to be a trailer now. I feel so bad about doing that, because now I'm I see the light of what you were doing. So
that was a tough time. That was a tough time to be a fan of that movie, waiting for that trailer every day, thinking there's a new day it's going to come, and it never came.
But you know what? You got to admit that it was cool to see Unicron in that first trailer, or in that later trailer.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was. I mean, you see my reaction to it.
Yeah, that's what I'm referencing. Oh my god!
I think Brian just peaked his microphone. All I got from Brian there was
gee, Rick.
That does remind me, I guess I kind of forgot your account was mostly just saying, is the trailer out, and then saying no for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, that
you kind of have a long period of not inactivity, because you still talk about Transformers stuff that is in the movie.
Yeah, he hadn't found out the technique yet. He was still a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just really impressive to see you grow from the Rise of the Beast era to this. And then, you're trending on Twitter for days at a time.
I guarantee you that as long as I do this, fucking Critical is never going to mention my name once.
No shot.
Well, Critical did not mention my name, but I don't think that.
No, Critical posted the picture of you saying, hey, you
that wasn't Critical. That was Shifreless. Productions.
I swear
That was
Critical
the
did.
animation
Right.
Chef
studio.
Real is.
No, the critical video was more coincidental than I actually doing something, because that video came out like a day after I was asking for it, which means that it was probably planned out a little bit before.
I don't know
But-
about that. Critical like literally sits down in front of a camera and then just talks at it.
True, that is very true.
That takes like 20 seconds to do.
So maybe, but I don't know for sure. The only people I know for sure, I know Cosmonaut Marcus. I know he saw it because of my tweets, and I also know that Schaefer saw it because of my tweets.
Yeah, I always wonder with those accounts, like, are people watching the reviews and actually going out, or is it mostly people that's already watched the movie they're watching it, or do people just like watch his videos because it's like, I just like the sound of his voice, I don't really care.
I think a lot of them are definitely going to be like people who've already seen the movie but might be convinced to go to a second time. But
yeah, maybe.
I want
The
to.
unfortunate part of all these reviews is that they were coming out 3 weeks, 4 weeks into the box office run.
Yeah.
So it's not. Would have been nice
Yeah.
if they came out before.
well,
But
I mean,
I'm glad they came out now.
it would have been cool if they came out before it would have given it like that bigger boost like right at the start. But
Yeah.
them coming out now is definitely keeping the notion alive. It's keeping the hype up, or not even the hype up. It is keeping the hype at a simmer, I guess. It is
Yeah,
keeping people interested, and it is resulting, I think, in box off performance week after week, which that's like the exact same as when it came out. So they're seeing that it has legs. I think they're going to leave it in theaters for as long as it kind of like keeps this up, where every weekend it's pulling in like $20 million.
Well, that's definitely not the case. It's definitely not making the same amount every week since the opening week. It's been making a lot less.
Yeah.
The opening week was 24 million, and the week that just passed, it made 3 million. So I don't know where you thought it was the same every week. It's been very different. since the
I've
first
been
week.
looking at Box Office Mojo for like forever now.
Yeah, I mean, you should go check it right now. I mean, I don't know where you got that from, but
should
it made
fact check.
3 million, I think. Or we're closer to 4 actually. There's the weekend that just went by. It's standing right now at 113 million. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
Eh,
I wanted to bring up that you are now like super big in the community, that you're being acknowledged by actual people who worked on the film. I've seen John Bailey.
Yeah.
I think Evan, who voiced Jazz.
Yeah, but
Josh
that's been
Cooley.
So awesome.
Jason
to see.
Schreier.
Jason
Shire.
Yeah. You
I was
even got
acknowledged
one of
by
those.
Jason, or not Jason. I was acknowledged by Josh Cooley, but it was for a bad reason.
Yeah, but you even got that box with all the Transformers stuff.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was
I'm
really
currently
cool.
messing with some of it right now. So
Yeah. How hyped were you to get that box?
it was an interesting thing because it cost me a lot to ship, but it was
Really? It cost you.
Yeah, well, you see, because of where I live, it has to cost me to ship because you can't ship to me directly, so I end up having to pay a shipper.
Yeah.
So it did cost quite a bit, but it was incredible to finally get it. It was so excited. I was just so excited, and it just felt like I accomplished something in a way. It wasn't even about the context and the contents in the box. It was just about getting it. That was the cool part.
Yeah.
I have a Elthie box. 'Cause Elthie did some promo stuff with Paramount and
I
Transformers
saw that.
1.
I saw when you got that one.
Yeah, I got the hat on right now, so that's the closest thing I've ever got to something like that.
Yeah,
what,
I don't.
What you got is basically my goal, but
I don't expect to get anything like that, considering the fact that in my videos I tend to use the fuck word a lot, and I go, Hasbro, you absolute bastards, how dare you do this? So I think
To be fair, I do that a lot as well. So you know what? Never say never.
maybe.
Yeah.
Hasbro's like,
You just
like
have
this
to,
guy.
But
This guy has slavishly devoted his life to promoting our movie for free. Yeah, I guess he can have a free box of toys that cost money to ship.
yeah,
What drew you into doing this, by the way?
Yeah,
Well,
that's a good question.
Back in 2022, I mean, I was just really excited for another Transformers movie coming finally after 4 years.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the last one was in Bumblebee. 2018 with Bumblebee. And when the movie got delayed, I was like really upset by that because the movie was originally supposed to come out in 2022. And after filming, there was this big long chunk of time where nothing happened. There was nothing going on at all. and I just took it upon myself to talk about this movie because I want people to talk about this movie before it comes out. So I decided to start this and get people talking about the movie before it comes out, and just go along with that. And that's just kind of how it started.
Yeah, because say what you want about Rise of the Beast, and if it's good, bad, whatever. But one of the coolest things about Rise of the Beast is it took me back when they were filming it or talking about it. Actually, especially when they were filming and you saw all the cars, to when Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon, Age of Extinction was being filmed, and everyone was watching everything going on and curious and speculating. And that was, no matter how bad the movie was, that was always fun to do.
Well, that's the thing with these movies, is that these live action movies is that the hype train for before it comes out is always like the best part compared to the actual movie. Not because the movie's bad or anything. It's just because the hype train is years long and the movie is 2 hours of your life. So it's just that's just kind of how it works.
I was actually having this conversation with someone just yesterday, where they were like, what's the point in getting excited for anything? And I was like, being excited for something is like, if it's like, if you're having a good time being excited, that's part of the experience. The last time I was like truly excited, might have been Earthrise, but like I was definitely like more into Siege. Siege, I was looking at every like render that they were releasing, and I was absolutely salivating. I was just like, oh my god, that looks so cool. Oh my god, that looks so cool. And then Siege came out, and Siege was exactly as good as my expectation was. And I was, it might have even exceeded. Yeah, no, it exceeded my expectations. Like the Siege Optimus Prime was more fun in hand than I even thought it looked like in pictures when I loved it in pictures. And
I thought you were talking about the show.
No, not the show. The toys. I'm talking about the toys.
I was like, damn, this fucker likes the Siege cartoon.
The first video I made about the first video I made on my entire channel was Transformers Siege, a masterpiece. Like, because it was so fucking nothing that I was like, I have to talk. I'm supposed to feel, I'm a Transformers fan, I should feel some kind of way about a new show, and I felt nothing. Because it was just so nothing of a show. So no, I like that's what made me start YouTube, is how bland that fucking show was. The toys. And so what my point was is that like the hype cycle can be a really fun part of the whole experience in the first place, and then if the thing that comes out like lives up to the hype, or in the rare case exceeds it, it's all positive. Sometimes you can overhype something and it can suck. But if it is getting hyped and it does manage to do it, though I still try and temper everyone's expectations. I'm like, okay, maybe don't think that this is going to bring you the sun, because this is going to
I think hype is fine if you're not telling people this is going to be good or bad and you don't know anything about it. Like, you don't know the story, you don't know how it looks. Like, I remember early on with Transformers 1, everyone kept saying that this movie is going to be bad. Like, it just flat out. We never saw any renders of any designs. We didn't know much of the story except it was an origin story. We hardly even knew the cast at that point, but people were just saying, no, this movie is going to suck. It's going to be terrible. I remember someone actively going out and saying that Chris Hemsworth is going to be terrible in this movie. I thought it was fine.
Well, everyone remembers. I mean, if you follow me, you would know that guy.
Oh, that guy? The one guy that always shits on the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You see, I knew Transformers 1 was going to be special a long time in advance. I knew it was going to be special. Because, I mean, obviously, every movie has test screenings, right? And those test screenings, they came back so overwhelmingly positive for everything happening in that movie. As soon as I heard that, I just knew that this movie is going to be something special. I need to push this, because this is going to be good. I had no doubt in my mind the movie was going to be good. In my head, these movies need to do 3 things. They need to sell, have good toys. They need to be good, and they need to do well at the box office. We've gotten 1.5 out of 3. The movie's incredible.
Yeah, that's a good.
The toys are okay. The toys are just all right. I mean, the toys are all right now, but I think in the future they'll get a lot better, because the Studio Series toys are incredible.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, I love the Studio Series Optimus and Megatron. I just got the Megatron. The Megatron is somehow even better than the Optimus, which is insane.
Wow.
The Megatron frustrates me just because the backpack refuses to stay on.
Stay on. Oh my god, yes. That's something I've been having an issue with, but I've been getting really used to the transformation and trying to figure out exactly where to position the backpack so that it doesn't fall off. And I feel like there's absolutely no reason they made the peg that shallow as well.
Yeah,
It's a
it does
little
make
bit
it like, why
frustrating.
not put it on a mushroom peg? There's no reason to not have it on a mushroom peg.
Yeah. I guess they wanted it to be removable because there's this. I mean, I don't know if we're doing spoilers, but there's a bit of a scene. I've seen the movie where it does get detached, so I
Yeah.
think they wanted to preserve that, and I think that was actually a
But
good
it's not
move
even
to
that
make it
form of him that
detachable.
does that backpack, that backpack, and then like that piece. If it's on a mushroom peg, you can still remove it. You can
No,
just
it
pop
is
Yeah,
to that form.
you can still remove it, but I think they want it to be like a feature. And typically, when you want to remove something and it's a feature, they don't use mushroom pegs; they use 5mm.
Yeah. Um,
I,
I don't even remember. I was gonna say
he has the
something
wrong
earlier.
cannon.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
that's
he
a
does,
little.
he
that
does
he
have
has
the
the
wrong
wrong
cannon.
cannon.
Here's
he does
the
have the wrong cannon.
like I prefer that cannon way more than the triple barrel one that was actually
Yeah.
weaker than the first one. Like that doesn't make a lot
Oh
of
my
sense.
No, the triple barrel one is sick looking. I don't care the actual power of it. It's not gonna actually shoot.
I don't think
I
that-
just like how it looks.
I don't think the barrel one is like cooler than the original one. I think the problem with that one is that it's just not beefy. Like it's so skinny.
It's
The triple
small.
barrel
Yeah, it's
cannon
pretty
looks
small.
like one of those bionicle ships they made.
I think they made the cannon as small as it did for the Series Megatron just because to service the alt mode. And actually, I think it's pretty genius how they got the fusion cannon to work as the tank turret.
Yeah, having
I mean, it's
both.
like
yeah.
it's a case of double parts forming. So I don't know. It's ingenious.
Yeah. I mean, I just think it's clever the way that, especially the smaller cannon, the way it makes the front
Yeah.
of the barrel. I think it's pretty clever.
Yeah, that tank mode is sick. I
Yeah.
love that tank.
Yeah.
It's pretty accurate to the movie as well, so I like it.
I like that you give him his big feet that he just randomly had.
You mean his
His-
leg, like his long
little
boots?
stilts or whatever. Tread stilts.
Oh, when it like
Oh
is
yeah,
half
yeah,
transformed.
when he kicks
Yeah.
Starscream in the face.
That's one thing I love about this movie is that they actually use the transformation as a feature for some of the fighting. I
It's
thought that was
almost
really
like this
cool.
movie was made by animators.
Or Transformers
That
fans.
understand Transformers, yeah. I mean, that's like one of the best parts of the movie is the action. It's really well done.
For the most part, there's like I point out in my video, there are a lot of scenes where there's like weirdly low impact on some of the hits, like they weigh nothing and they're hitting something that weighs nothing. Those are strange.
Well, those are mostly for the drones, which I kind of understand. Like it's just a drone, so I guess they didn't want it to have as much impact as when actual significant characters are fighting. Because when significant characters are fighting, it's pretty high impact.
It's a lot of times, like when Alita rips off Arachnid's legs and starts hitting her with them. Those are
Yeah, very very low impact.
those are very weak.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just some weird things but yeah, no, the action is all like very creative and cool. Like Travis Knight also in the Bumblebee movie also tended to do stuff with like that. Like he had the classic transform, drive away, come back. He had Bumblebee kill Barricade or not Barricade, sorry,
Drop kick.
Dropkick. I kept trying to go like kickback. My brain was like kickback.
It's
kickback,
Starscream!
But yeah, he had him kill him with the chain.
The
that
chain.
got caught up
Yeah.
in his gears during transformation. Like doing stuff.
That's the only time I can think of that happening, though. Like something like that.
Yeah, where something got
Because I thought that was shocking when it happened in the Bumblebee movie. I was
oh,
like, I ain't never seen shit
I
like that.
distinctly remember when I saw that in theaters for the first time. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It, like what my point was is that it's really cool when you actually use a transformation in the fight. The Michael Bay movies don't give a fuck about the transformation. They're fighting in robot mode like the entire time.
Can confirm. Yeah.
But but that's the point of Transform. That's why I don't like particularly love most of the War for Cybertron games is because it like never feels, except for in Vortex's level in the second game, it never feels like transforming back and forth like constantly during the fight is like a really big advantage.
No, I understand what you mean. I do understand what you mean. I think like the only game that really got the transformations right is Devastation.
Yes, Devastation, where you're just constantly flipping back and forth. Like that's
Yeah.
something that you can only do in the Transformers. So the fact that the War for Cybertron games did not take advantage of that was always just, it was like, oh well, this is just basically just a third person shooter with a really weird sprint button. And
Yeah.
that was kind of that was my problem. And the vortex level completely flips that on its head, and the vortex level is great, and you are constantly flipping back and forth because it does behoove you in combat to do that. But for the most part, those don't work. But seeing that in movies is also like really cool, and it's like, it's very clear that Michael Bay just did not care about the robots in the way that like you can, because he had no creativity for them. They were just bigger people with guns.
Can I just say that when you said robots or throwbots, you reminded me of the Lego system that was called Throwbots, and I was like, he knows. Sorry, I'm a Bionicle nerd. Never mind.
Yeah, you're Bionicle brained.
But I would say that also the base stuff is live action, so like I don't know, it's probably
It's kind of hard to
have them
translate
punch
if you
each
are
other.
doing that on.
Yes, it's easier. That doesn't make it like saying, "Oh, hey, this is easier to do." Is
Yeah,
not
I'm
an
not saying
excuse.
it's great, but
Saying it's easier to do is not an excuse. It's
not
like,
easier
oh, hey,
to
it's
do,
easy.
easier to translate in the film.
Well, that's my point. Is that the movies weren't shot for these like large things because Michael Bay doesn't care about them, and he's not an animator, so he's not going like, oh hey, what can I do with this? What are the cool things that I can make these things that don't work anywhere else? They only work here. This is the only franchise where this can happen. I'm not going to take advantage of this franchise's strong suit.
Well, off the top of my head, I can think of a few examples where they actually use transformations in the fights, like the first movie when Starscream is fighting the jets. He's transforming back and forth, and I thought that's a really cool scene.
He does grab those jet, like he does like that spin barrel where he grabs like
Yeah,
jet, like,
and
rips
he's
in half.
constantly transforming back and forward between his alt mode and robot mode. I thought that's a highlight for me when it comes to like transformations and fights for those movies. Trying to think of anything else that I can remember.
I was thinking
I would
Stealth
point out that
Force,
would
but
be a
that-
scene that Michael Bay had basically no control over because those jets would just be like animation.
Another one I can
He's
think
the
about
director.
is
Okay.
the Dark of the Moon highway fight. That's one where they're transforming a lot. That's another one.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but at the same time, is that like another form, or is that? I guess.
Saying he's the director. He's the director. He's not like the shot composite. Oh no, sorry. He is the guy who composes the shot. So the stuff where he's filming, cars driving along and whatnot. He's the guy who says, okay, we're going to film them. They're going to come along this road. They're going to look like this.
I'm saying you're acting as if he has no oversight on that scene when obviously would.
Well, he obviously is going to have oversight on that scene, but what's going to happen is that he's going to be like, okay, I need a scene where Starscream blows up 3 jets, and then they're going to come back to him with a shot where Starscream does this like transformation thing, and he's going to be like, yep, that looks good. Because he's not filming that. He's going to tell someone to do it, and it's going to come back done.
So
that's how a scene like that is going to work. He's not like looming over their shoulder and be like, okay, have them do this.
I have a question, but I written it out for my interview, so I'm not gonna say it.
Oh.
Okay.
What type of stupid ass shit is that? Then shut up. What are you talking about?
I just wanted
ask
you
the
guys
question or
to
don't even
stop
mention
talking
it.
because Tfhypeguy hasn't really talked too much today, and I was like, I want to hear his thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay, then ask him a damn
talking
question.
too
What the
much.
fuck? Okay, don't ask him. You're right. No, Tfhypeguy, just say whatever, man.
Yeah, Tfhypeguy.
Just say whatever. We won't even ask
I've
questions.
been
Tfhypeguy, what do you
adding-
have for breakfast today?
Today, well, I didn't have breakfast because I don't typically eat
What?
breakfast.
Ah,
I typically just go straight to lunch.
that's
and
interesting because I don't normally eat lunch.
Yeah, I just had some Chinese food.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yes.
I love lunch. Lunch is way better than breakfast. Yeah, I do actually have questions. So you've accomplished all this. You got like what 70K followers or something like that now.
I think it's on 70K now. Last time I checked, it was 69.9.
Hey,
Yeah, 69.
Oh my god!
yeah.
No, I forgot the screenshot of the 69. I
you
just logged on,
bastard!
and I see the 70. I'm like, oh, crap.
All right, I'm gonna have to unfollow you and make sure that you get the 69.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
quick! Everyone
I
do
need-
a
I
really
need
quick
4
unfollow
people.
campaign to get him back to
I need
69K.
4 people to
Yeah.
unfollow me.
What comes next for you? Because the movie's out. I mean, you've done all you could, I would say, for the damn box office.
Well, what's the
one
count-
man
What's the count gonna be
doing one
next?
single.
Well, next is just
Yeah.
gonna be just gonna be doing what I've been doing for the past 2 years, which is just talking about Transformers news, topics that are currently going on and stuff, and hype up any products coming out. Like I know Reactivate is planned to come out next year.
Oh,
so
that's
I'm definitely gonna be talking
is
about that
Transformers Reactivate out yet?
No,
Is
I'm
that
not gonna be
coming
doing
next year?
that because I'm gonna stick the trailer gimmick to only movies. So yeah, so I'm gonna remain as I am right now until we get a release date for the next movie.
Well,
if
it's
we get a
good
release
that-
date for the next movie, I'm gonna convert into doing the trailer again.
How excited will you be for Transformers like cross GI Joe?
I will be extremely excited because live action movies are my jam, and anytime there is a new one, I will be excited for it, no matter what.
Well, it's good that next year we have a lot of live-action Transformers planned for the Studio Series line, because there's a lot of the concept stuff coming out. So
yeah, well,
that's good.
2025, it's a bit of a filler year, but at the same time, it's going to be a really enjoyable filler year because there's a lot going on.
It's gonna be interesting to see
yeah.
what's going on. It's gonna be kind of different, I think.
Yeah.
It's also gonna
I'm
be
excited
kind of
for
relaxing
Devastator.
for you because there's not gonna be a movie coming out, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to be, I don't know, I think it's just going to be a little bit, I don't want to say boring, but it's going to be a little bit like,
Laid back.
wow, I don't know what to do. There isn't a movie to talk about every day yet. Until they announce something else, and then we'll get to talking.
Yeah.
But the thing is that
Right.
if they are gonna, if the plan, which I think they have right now, is to do the GI Joe movie for 26, if they're gonna do it for 2026, that needs to be announced very soon. That needs
Haven't
to
they-
have a release date.
Haven't
very
they been
soon.
like, we don't have a movie plan, like we don't have a GI Joe movie planned yet? We have the concept for a plan. Isn't that what?
No,
they
they
said?
have-
Yeah,
a
that
plan.
that is what they said. They said they don't have a script yet, and they're just planning it out.
I
To be
don't know
fair,
that
though,
means that it's coming out in 2026. Then
To be fair, a movie doesn't take that long to make. So
depends.
it doesn't take as long as you think it would. They have a writer on board, and I think that,
I mean, look at the Primordials that came out this year. That movie was in the works for like 28 years.
What?
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
I don't know what movie that is, but
that's a movie that
I've
came out
never
this
heard
year.
of
I'm just saying, like it depends. You know, some movies it's like, oh yeah, sometimes they can get a movie out in like a year and a half.
You would do a movie that
What
took
the
20
hell?
No.
years
I'm
to
just saying,
come-
like that's the top end. That's like as bad as it can get. But like sometimes it comes out.
Extreme
Sometimes
top
it comes out like in a year and a half, and sometimes it comes out 6 years later. It depends on the
6
movie.
years.
There's a lot of
Rise
movies
of
that
the
take
Beast.
6
Yeah.
years to come out.
Rise of the
I think
Beast.
Avatar probably took that long. man.
Rise of the Beast from the start of filming to when it came out was
3 years.
it was a year and how many months?
Look, I can tell you it wasn't a year and how many
A
months.
year and
because I
about
remember
8
the
months.
week I came out of the Bumblebee movie, I was coming out of a Target, and they were like, the next movie is going to be the Beast Wars movie, and then there's also going to be a Bumblebee sequel.
Yeah, but
they were
that's
already
not
talking,
filming.
They were already talking about that, and then
Oh,
like a month.
yeah,
later,
yeah, yeah.
So it took 4 years. For,
Well, the movie's been planned for a while, but I'm talking about when it starts filming.
Well, yeah, but
You know, if it
what I'm
starts
saying
filming,
is
then
they're in the planning stage now, so I don't think it's a
Yeah.
safe bet to say that it's going to come out in 2026. It might
God,
be
no,
2028.
it probably won't. It probably
But
won't.
he's saying it only took a year and some change to put it out.
Yeah.
So
I'm saying
That's why I'm
it's
saying
ready.
I'm saying hoping for
maybe
2026.
they could be.
is
No, I'm not hoping for 2026. I'm not. But I just would like it to go in 2026.
I think.
I mean, everyone wants it to come out in a
Yeah.
reasonable amount of time.
I think
yeah, because I don't
it's
want to
been
wait
like
3 years.
5 years since they talked about doing the anime movie, because I think they had the whole planned out.
Yeah,
thing
that
since
got
the
its
last night.
It got its release date in 2021.
Yeah,
That's when it got its release date. But it's been planned a long time before that.
because they had the whole
Yeah.
writers' room for the last night, and they were saying, "Yeah, we're going to do an origin story at some point."
It kind of goes back to that writer's room that led to kind of nothing, but at the same time led to a lot.
I wonder if
Alright,
they
so-
just pulled certain things that they were like, "Oh, this is actually a good idea," and just kept going with that. I don't know.
Hype Guide,
Mm-hmm.
do you have like an idea of a really good G.I. Joe X Transformers movie? Like, is there something you want to see in particular from
Me.
that idea?
I-
Woo!
There's a reason I don't try to write these movies. There's a reason I don't try to come up with stories. It's because I am a terrible writer and I'm a terrible story writer. I can't think of ideas like that way. That's why I rely on just hyping something up. But what I want to see, I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to be the last live action movie for a very long time. I don't think it's. I
Really?
don't think they're going to make. I mean, unless it's hugely successful somehow. I don't think there's gonna be one for a long time. So I'm just gonna hope that, I'm just gonna hope it's good. I'm just gonna hope it balances the characters well. I hope they don't do too many characters, because when they do too many characters, a lot of them get sidelined. Which, I mean, that's the thing that's so promising about it, to me at least, is that for everything about the movie so far, they've said that they're gonna reduce the characters. They said they're gonna keep it to like 3 Joe characters and like 4 Transformers. And if that is the case, I'm gonna love that, because it's gonna actually give the time for the characters to breathe. And I think that could really work, because realistically, you only need like 1 Cobra character and like 2 Joes. You don't need any more than that.
Yeah.
You need a Duke. You need like Scarlet maybe for another for a female protagonist, and then do a Cobra Commando or Destro, which I think they're interested in doing Destro for the Cobra.
I'm Scarlet, baby,
That
made me
makes
think,
sense.
I'm the Joker, baby.
I'm the
So I got a question here. Do you think that the reason that Transformers 1 is doing so badly is simply because they marketed it so badly, or do you think that there is a degree of just complete burnout among general movie-going audiences where they're like, I just can't care about Transformers anymore after those last 2 abominations that were huge?
That's a really big question, because there's so many factors that someone can consider when it comes to this. People say it was marketed badly, and to that I say, yeah, probably it was marketed badly, because the first trailer is not people's favorites, and it gives off a different vibe to what the movie actually is. But
I want to interject there. That's really weird to me, because I think the first trailer is fine, and I hate the second and third trailer.
because it shows
I
too
thought
much
the first
for you.
trailer was fine. I think the second trailer shows off too much, and I think the third trailer shows off way too much.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I always say that this movie is incredibly difficult to market, because you can put out the first trailer and spoil nothing, but then no one cares because the trailer wasn't that good to a lot of the general audience. To me, it was great, but looking at the reactions, people did not like that trailer at all.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
so
weird.
I'm not gonna be the definitive judge of the trailer. It's gonna be what people think of it, and people didn't like it. But I always said this movie's gonna be really hard to market because you don't want to spoil everything. But it only started to get good. I mean, the trailers at least, when they started to spoil everything, because that second trailer was a massive improvement from the first one when it comes to like action and what you're actually gonna get for this movie. So I think it was a really difficult movie to market, and while people say the first trailer is the reason it isn't doing that well, probably, but at the same time, there's a lot of movies that come out that are completely kid-focused that do really well. Like Despicable Me just came out and made $1 billion. Kung Fu Panda just came out and made $800 million. Those are extremely kid-focused movies that have very kid-oriented trailers that do extremely well.
Also,
So,
no one liked Kung Fu Panda 4.
no one liked it, but let me tell
Yeah.
you, it made a lot of money. So they're going to do another one.
Wow.
Because
I
it
didn't
had
know
a record. It had a previous record for it. Transformers 1 is coming off a franchise where people kind of wound down with
Yeah, well,
Transformers.
that's why I'm so adamant that I really want a sequel, because I think the good word of mouth from this first movie is gonna really help out the second film, and the word of mouth that we have gathered from this film is gonna help the franchise going forward, because we're not like known as just the mediocre live action movies anymore, because we can do competently animated movies.
See, the problem is that like the same thing could be said of Bumblebee. Like Bumblebee was like, people were like, oh hey, Bumblebee's actually really good, and that had like great word of mouth. And then I know that you love Rise of the Beast, but Rise of the Beast came out, and the general audience reaction to Rise of the Beast, and I think pretty much rightly so, is just it's okay. And that was not like they needed to continue on in like this upward trend of, oh that was great, oh that was great, but instead it was like, that was great, oh that was okay.
No, I do agree, because Bumblebee was absolutely phenomenal as a movie, highly praised by both audiences and critics alike, and they kind of, for some reason, they course corrected when they didn't need to be course corrected. I don't know why. It's a really odd choice.
I know why. It's because Bumblebee didn't make $1 billion.
Yeah, Bumblebee didn't make that much. Didn't like.
Yeah.
I'm saying it didn't make that much, but my God, if Transformers 1 made numbers like that, we would be in a different place right now.
Yeah. We would be so
but-
happy.
Yeah, Bumblebee was great. I really like Bumblebee. I don't want to say that I've turned on Bumblebee, but it's less rewatchable for me than the other movies, because I get less. I don't say I get less of it. It's definitely the highest quality live action movie in my opinion. I still think it is the highest quality live action movie, but
Yeah.
in my opinion, it isn't as rewatchable as the other ones. Just because there's a lot of time where there's nothing really going on besides character work, which is good for a one-time viewing, but on repeat viewings, it isn't as good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
you
I
watch Revenge of the Fallen, and there's like 15 fucking things happening every scene.
see. I would go.
Very
I would
that are
go
like
the,
more insane than the last.
I would go the opposite route. If it's like, oh hey, this is character work. Even if I've seen the character work before, it's like, hell yes, give me this over just stuff going off on screen.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not saying that I prefer having bad character work and stuff. I much prefer having the stuff from like Bumblebee, and I really wish they continued the trajectory that Bumblebee set instead of going balls to the walls, introducing Unicron and a bunch of different stuff. Which
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I did enjoy it. I had a really good time with Rise of the Beast, but it wasn't the movie they were supposed to make, and I think it really may have like harmed the franchise potential when it comes to live action movies.
Yeah, that I felt like the first half of Rise of the Beast was so much better than the second half. Once I get to Peru, I'm like, oh my god, this sucks.
That might be like that might be kind of where they slammed the two scripts together, because originally, like, when the movies were announced, it was like, okay, we're going to be doing a Beast Wars movie, and we're going to be doing a Bumblebee movie. And then like there's kind of like a definitive line in that movie where it goes like, okay, this is a Transformers movie, okay, now this is a Beast Wars movie, and we're just going to tack that on kind of at the end.
Yeah.
So it is entirely possible that they just took like either like the first half of the script that was just like the sequel to Bumblebee, chopped that off, and then like just threw on this back half that was Beast Wars. Well, that was Beast Wars finger quotes, because like, you know, the Beast Wars characters got no focus.
Rise of the Beast was a very experimental movie. They just threw whatever at the wall and they see what stuck. And a few things stuck and a few things didn't. So I feel like
what do you think stuck
with Rise of the Beast? I feel like with what stuck, I think the character work on the robots, like especially the Mirage and Optimus Prime actually having a big character arc and stuff.
Obviously,
people don't like the character arc,
Chad,
but it was a character arc at the end of the day. I think those are the things that stuck. I mean, yes, Rise of the Beast still also very, very much suffered from a lot of characters doing absolutely nothing, but I think the character work of the main characters like Mirage and Optimus and I mean, that's basically all of them who had characters in the movie.
Also, Arcee was kind of hot. So.
Remember when everyone was like pissed that like whatever actress playing Arcee was like cast? Like everyone was like, "How dare they cast this stupid bitch?" I have no idea who that actress is, but like she's some YouTuber. She's like a
TikToker
or TikToker or something like that. But it's like, who cares? She also doesn't like ever talk in the movie.
Yeah.
She talks a fair amount, but she doesn't do much.
Yeah.
I remember like the one line where she's like, "Oh yes, this guy is Noah.
He's a soldier.
He's a soldier. This is Noah. He's got my back." Some say that a soul traps the souls of his enemies.
It's better than the Revenge of the Fallen RCs.
Oh yeah,
I'll say
for
that
sure.
much.
For sure. Again, Rise of the Beast, I feel like a lot of the characters, there's like little bits of like you can see where they wanted this to have a character, and they just didn't bother continuing that.
Are you telling me Wheeljack is not the best thing ever?
Well, the thing with Wheeljack is that he had a ton of scenes that were cut, so it's like I really would love to see those scenes and how they went about before they were cut.
There's so much from that movie that's like obviously been cut. Like what happened to the fight scene that was going to go down in Cusco, like where you see Optimus smash Scourge through the wall?
Wanted to see that so badly.
Oh man, there's as much as I love Rise of the Beast, there's a million things that frustrate me about that movie. There's a million things I love about that movie. It's one of those movies that it's like, wow, this movie is. I really enjoyed it, but there's a lot of missed potential they could have had here.
There are a lot of scenes where it's very clear, like, oh, they cut to this from something. Like, there was going to be something between here and here, and these two ends are just kind of stitched together now.
I like how everyone's trying to gaslight that Rhinox said anything, but he never said anything in the movie.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, you totally hear him say, because he's like the center of the focus of the camera, but it's Ron Perlman's voice. You can hear Ron Perlman.
The point of the character was that he was supposed to be a silent type, and then he was going to have one line, and the characters were supposed to react to that one line. And then they ended up cutting that one line. So, it just ended up being like, okay, I guess he just doesn't talk at all.
I like how Sobolov was like, yeah, they're really respecting Beast Wars fans by having me play Rhinox. It's like, well, one, you ain't Rhinox, Sobolov. And two, like, no, they don't have you play Rhinox. They had you record something for Rhinox, and then they didn't do anything with it.
You gotta remember that he would have only known that before.
I know. I'm just saying, like, but if you know that you've recorded one line for a character,
no, he recorded a lot of lines. He's always said that he recorded a lot of lines for Rhinox and Battletrap. and they just didn't end up making it into the movie.
Yeah, because they were talking about how savage Battletrap was, and it's just another guy.
The way that Battletrap dies is like it's so like that's the I'm 100%.
It was kind of funny though at the same time.
I'm 100%. It's funny. My point is that like those guys were immune to the maximal and Autobot weaponry all the way up until the point where they suddenly died like bitches. I guarantee you there was a scene in that movie cut where Unicron was like, okay, you guys suck. I'm taking my power back until you actually do something of like note to earn my power. And that's why they were suddenly so killable.
Well, it depends, because if you look at the movie, Blastify does absolutely nothing to them. And if you look at the way the Terracons died, none of them died through Blastify. I mean, I guess you can count that Nightbird kind of did, but at the same time, no, it really wasn't that. It was more melee weapons. Melee weapons killed Battletrap, melee weapons killed Scourge, and
But like
Nightbird's own parts killed herself.
Scourge fought Optimus Prime at the start and at the end, and Scourge beat the piss out of Optimus Prime. I think it's like, dude, you're a bitch. You have any idea how many Primes I've killed? And then he fights him again later, and he's like, oh my god, Master, help me! This dude's way too tough!
I think the big thing is the confidence. They didn't expect him to be this powerful in the movie early on, and so it took him off guard.
But I think it's just lazy writing.
Getting taken off guard.
I think it is just. It definitely is just a case of lazy writing. They just needed, they needed the good guy to defeat the bad guy in the end. And I think they kind of tried to like explain it with Noah, hitting him in the knee and taking out his legs and stuff. and definitely those were effective. And again, melee weapons that damaged him. No gunfire ever damaged him at any point. So it's not that they were inconsistent. It's just that they kind of just. Like, he was really tough, and then he wasn't.
That's my point. Is I think that there's probably a missing... Because, like, they've cut so much from that movie. I think there's probably a scene there that explains why they go from death on wheels to utterly takeable.
I think another thing is that you're a crybaby.
you know what I'm an extra crybaby about? The fact that it was not Optimus Primal who killed Scourge, despite the fact that he's the character who vowed revenge on Scourge.
Oh, both of them did. It should have been both of them.
That honestly, like the fact that they both took out Battletrap together, but not Scourge, that's the weird thing.
Yeah, if it's one thing I would change about Rise of the Beast, I think thematically they really needed Optimus Prime and Optimus Primal to both take down Scourge. They both had grudges against them, and it would have both completed their... I don't want to say character arcs, it would have completed their stories a little bit.
I would point out that Optimus Prime's vow of revenge on Scourge is over the fact that Scourge temporarily put Bumblebee into a coma, where Optimus Primal watched Scourge kill like his dad, brother, or lover, and then also had him made him kill Airraiser.
Well, you gotta remember, Bumblebee was dead. He was dead. He wasn't alive.
But he was back by that point. So... Bumblebee was alive again. And like, here's the thing: is that like even then they're like, do you think we could like just revive him with like a injection of energon like on the way over to Peru? So the state that Bumblebee was in wasn't quite.
I wouldn't
dead.
say he was dead. Yeah, they didn't act like he was actually dead in the like cargo plane.
Yeah, they acted like they might be able to help him some way, and you can't help someone from death.
Well, it depends, because I mean, they say in the movie that they don't say in the movie. They mention the energon transfusion, and so it's implied that he wasn't like killed by any other mean besides that his energon was depleted, which I think is what they were trying to imply, and that technically means that you are dead, but you can come back from that.
We wanted to ask about your show.
What?
His Gundam show.
What?
I was trying to gaslight Dumb Jake into thinking that Tfhypeguy had a Gundam show coming out, and it was going to be really funny when he asked him and confused him.
Okay, that was a prank on me?
Yeah, it was going to be a prank.
I don't even think Dumb Jake is that dumb.
He was so dumb that he forgot to ask that question.
I didn't forget. I was just like, that is not my realm of expertise. I'm not going to ask about Gundam.
Okay.
I don't know anything about Gundam.
I don't know if he knows anything about Gundam.
Tfhypeguy, do you know anything about Gundam?
It was a prank gone wrong, I'm just saying.
I don't know anything about Gundam other than they exist.
Same.
This is a riveting conversation. Thank you, Brian.
It was gonna be a prank, and then it just didn't
You
happen.
whiffed this one. You whiffed it.
Here's the thing. This is a prank on yourself. This is a prank that makes you look like the dumb one.
You're dumb. You think the music in Transformers 1 isn't inspired by Prime.
I legitimately don't know what everyone's talking. Everyone keeps saying that. and
It's obvious!
I don't hear it.
Everyone knows it!
I don't
Well, they use
hear it.
motifs from Prime in the score, so.
I like everyone says that. Oh yeah, that part where you hear the TF Prime like theme coming. I don't know where that supposedly is. No idea. I don't hear it.
I think you gotta listen to the part that is obviously taken from Prime, and then you'll see that that is the same.
It's more obvious than when they used it in Rise of the Beast. It honestly
I
is.
recognized it in Rise of the Beast. I did not recognize it in TF1.
Why do they keep using it? Why is the Prime theme always in the movie?
Because there's a thing called a musical motif that people are way too horny for.
Well, also, it's the same guy that was doing it.
Oh, it's the same composer. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, shouting yourself out, I get that. 100%.
He did the music for Thor.
Tfhypeguy, is any of your stuff monetized? Do you have a Twitter Blue or anything? Have you made any money from this endeavor at all?
I've tried to use Twitter Blue, but it doesn't work because I don't live in the States.
Oh, that's ass.
Yeah, so that doesn't work out, but I did make money. I'm not going to say I haven't, because the Yellow Park, my Yellow Park link, if anyone uses that, I get a little commission, and that's been doing really well.
I don't even have a sponsor.
We'll put something in the description for that.
Okay, great.
The only sponsors I've ever been offered are like obvious scams or people who are like, yeah, let's do the sponsorship, and then they like don't get back to me. And it's like, why did you call me if you weren't going to get back to me when I agreed?
God, I would love to get sponsored by Yellow Park. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to sound petty or jealous on that, but damn.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got the blocky stuff. That's really cool.
That's true.
I
really
would
like
love
that.
to get some of the blocky stuff. It looks really cool.
Have you ever thought about doing like a YouTube channel?
He does.
I have one.
expanding?
I just haven't done anything with it. So
You gotta promote it, bro. you got
if I
70,000
he doesn't have
Twitter
a YouTube
followers.
channel. He has like, the common YouTube thing where it's just like, I have a channel to watch other people's YouTubes.
I have no, it's not even that. I have a channel where I upload like trailer reactions and stuff, and that's it. Whenever I need to make a video talking about something, I'll make a video talking about something. It's not gonna be any high effort stuff because I cannot make YouTube videos. It's a thing that I just can't do.
It's so boring. I don't know why you guys do it. You're idiots. That's you.
Yeah, okay. I just think you have the perfect platform to spring something you can make money on. Off of. I'm a proponent of making some money.
It's not always about the money, dumb Jake. Sometimes it's about the integrity.
Yeah, well, dumb Jake, you make a lot of money off those feet pics.
Oh yeah, so much.
yeah, my OnlyFans goes crazy.
The weird part is it's not even your feet, but whatever. I'm not gonna comment on that.
No, I'm a collector.
Fuck, that makes it creepy.
Are the feet still attached? Please tell me they're still attached.
You'll have to subscribe to find out.
That's how they get you. And your feet.
Tfhypeguy, what was like the first Transformers thing you got into?
Well, the very first thing I got was in 2010. The very first introduction to the series, I got the Battle Blades Bumblebee.
Ooh.
Not the Battle Blades, sorry, the Battle Ops Bumblebee.
Yeah.
That's the big Leo class Bumblebee that came out in Hunt for Decepticons.
Yeah.
Back in 2010. That's the first thing I ever got. That was my first introduction to the franchise. Getting that, then I started to watch a lot of YouTube because my uncle introduced me to YouTube, and I ended up looking at a lot of toy reviews. That's why I love to watch toy reviews, because I've just been watching it for so long now. And that kind of got me into the franchise, and then from that, when the year passed over, 2011, I went to see Dark in the Moon in cinemas. But before that, I saw the live action movies. I saw Revenge of the Fallen was the very first one I saw.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And then I saw 07. No, I mean don't say that, because Revenge of the Fallen was my favorite growing up. That was my favorite one. It could have been
lit as a kid.
That's sad, because we were going to talk about Revenge of the Fallen with you, and then we decided, we're not going to do that.
Who says lit anymore?
Me. An aging fucking zillennial.
P, you got no riz, but anyways, go on.
Oh my god, shut the skibbity up, brothers.
I'm
gonna take you to Ohio.
This is torture.
I live so close to Ohio. Sorry, Hype Guy, go on.
No. Yeah, that was it. I just watched the movies after that, and then the movies really got me into it. I mostly bought movie toys growing up, and then I got into Generations and buying G1 stuff, and then now we're here, and that's just it.
The perfect Hasbro customer from the movie pipeline.
Yeah,
that's exactly what they want.
Yeah, here's the thing. I think
pretty much,
Hasbro would love it if every single one of their customers had like a giant like internet following that was telling everyone to buy their product. I think that's the dream. That's the Hasbro dream.
that's what they'd love to see.
Anyone got any more questions? Oh, I guess we do have the. I didn't think to put any prompt in the.
Wow, dumb Jake didn't prepare. What a surprise!
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like, I'm also like completely unprepared because I was just like, oh hey, I can talk to one of my longtime fans. I should use this as an excuse.
Oh my god, he said longtime fan.
This is
jeez.
What?
He calls me that sometimes.
You ain't a longtime fan, bitch. Fuck off. I don't call you a longtime fan of anything. Fucking.
Oh, he's one of my fans. That's what you said before. Dumb Jake's one of my fans.
Yes, I've called you a fan of mine. What I didn't call you a longtime fan. Fucking Tfhypeguy here has been watching me since my fourth video ever. Fourth video out of fucking 500.
That's fucked up. Let's just answer some Patreon questions. We'll pick some, and Hype Guy, you can answer them with us.
Okay, sure.
You can participate.
Okay? I got this one from Spooky Gryffindor Drago, who says, "How would you handle a Pokemon X Transformers crossover figure?"
What?
I think that he's going to tell you that he's not like great at writing. I think that's going to be the response.
Well, do you like Pokemon, TFIPguy?
Oh no, this is out of my realm of anything. I don't know anything about Pokemon.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I knew that. As soon as you said the question, I was like, okay, this one's going to go bad.
Okay, my sister's
I don't know anything about Pokemon, so
I
guess they'll do the most
Pokemon.
recognizable character. They'll do a Pikachu. It'll turn into a Beast Wars character or something.
Yeah.
Tasmanian Kid. Maybe that'll make a good Pikachu.
I feel like if they had the mold, then they would do it. But I'm not sure if it's going to be like exactly like the Pokemon.
I got it. I would do Snarl as Blastoise.
What?
Those are just
Snarl
names.
as Blastoise?
Like 86 Snarl as Blastoise.
I will admit, my sister
I
is into Pokemon, so there'd probably be two in this house if they did that.
Yeah. Pokemon, I think like maybe like a cool Power of the Primes thing where like you can have Charizard and it transforms into Charmander. I guess that's kind of like one of those old Digimon toys,
don't do the Digimon thing. Honestly, weirdly enough, Snarl would work both as Blastoise and as Venusaur.
Yeah, he would. Okay, well, do what you guys want to pick a different question? Sorry, Gryffindor Drago.
Hey, I mean, he got his like answer from the people he asked the question to. So, like, yeah. I don't think he's gonna be like upset. Like, oh, hey, this guy that I didn't ask.
No, I'm expecting a hate comment. I'm gonna get a hate comment for sure.
Where are the questions again?
Oh my god.
It's in the Ask Us questions.
Yeah,
Hype Guy, I'd like to apologize ahead of time with... Actually, no, it's not ahead of time.
It's all good.
I was way at the bottom.
It's totally fine.
This is how every fucking podcast
Okay,
goes.
Shut the fuck up. Here's the question that we should have asked him, you jackass. From Lord Sky...
What do you mean we should have?
From Lord Skywarp, who was the best character in the movie? Go fuck yourself, dumb Jake.
We already answered that, dipshit.
Yeah,
we
and
answered
this is
it last episode.
And this is a question we can now pose to fucking Tfhypeguy.
Yes.
The
best character in the movie? I think the best character has to go to, D16 Megatron. But
yeah,
my favorite character in the movie probably was Arachnid. I just really liked her
Interesting.
acting, everything she did. I thought she was really cool.
Wait, you're not talking about
I love
Penicitron.
She needed more lines for sure. She was not enough of a presence, but yeah,
I like
she
how
was
they
cool.
brought in the Prime character in the show or in the movie.
I like that, and I like the fact that she was as Death on Wheels in that movie as she was in Prime. Like Arachnid was like the one of like the two Decepticons who's like, yeah, don't fight them, you'll die.
Yeah, she was pretty cool. I liked her like forearm guns.
Oh yeah, those are really cool.
And I did like that scene where like Sentinel Prime makes her laugh. And she like just has the worst laugh. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I liked all of her scenes. I think she had really cool action scenes. I just loved her presence, and she didn't obviously do a lot, but she served her purpose as a character. She was just supposed to be this threat, and she just was that, and she served her purpose as a character.
I wish
wonder-
we got
need to
more
have
of
a
her
character
fight
arc and
in where she fought
Yeah.
Alpha. Well, I wish we got more of both of her fights. One where she fought Alpha Trion, and the other one where she fought Elita.
Elita. Yeah.
I feel like she would be the one that would, kind of spoilery, I guess, take the cogs, because in the comic she
Like
was
a spider.
She was a surgeon.
Oh.
Maybe that's actually a good idea. Yeah, that could be the origin of how they lost their cogs in the first place.
This one's from Alita. Favorite alt mode ever?
For me,
Favorite alt.
That's a
mode.
hard
for
one.
me, I actually have an answer right away. Favorite alt mode ever. The Osprey. From the movies.
Oh, I love
always
that.
love
Okay.
that.
I was praising
I think that is-
Incinerator recently, actually.
Yeah, Incinerator. I think there needs to be more VTOL Transformers. Like, I need the Revenge of the Fallen Springer. That is a design I would just love to see get a Series toy.
Yeah.
That's like one of the most, that's like my most wanted concept series figures. That's for an aerial alt mode, and for a land-based alt mode, I love Sideswipe's car in Revenge of the Fallen. That is my favorite car of all time.
I might
Yeah.
be. I think I'm torn between Skyfire's alt mode or Grimlock.
Yeah,
I like.
those are both good.
Yeah, I think I'm torn between those.
I just want to say Incinerator was my favorite Voyager for the first movie.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
hard question. That's a really
incredible
hard
toy.
question.
For me, it's got to be animated Shockwave's tank mode, and by extension, Armada Megatron's tank mode. I love the H tank look, and I like how the Transformers 1 is like kind of half an H tank.
For me, it's my favorite car ever.
Which is
The 2007 Camaro.
oh yeah, that's a good. Like the
Or
you mean
2010
the
Camaro.
concept Camaro.
Yeah, I was thinking, the concept, but it would be
Okay.
it would probably be 2010 Camaro then.
Yeah, gotcha.
I've always
I
been-
do like the. Oh yeah,
I was gonna say I've always been more partial to Mustangs than Camaros.
yeah.
they-
I didn't know anything about cars before the 07 movie.
Well, too
I
bad
still
for
don't.
you, PE, because they canceled that Hot Wheels barricade car.
Oh yeah, they did because it says to what does it say?
To punish and
Punish and
enslave.
enslave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like
The
how
woke is taking away our barricade,
That-
Hot Wheels.
that's like how Lego doesn't want to do guns, but they have Star Wars.
yeah. Those are blasters.
Oh,
Brian.
okay.
Blasters
Way
don't
different.
count.
Don't count at all. They don't. Shoot
Lasers
bullets.
aren't bullets.
I swear
They
I've
shoot space
seen
bullets.
like World War II Legos that had MG34s.
Well, they had
swear
the
I've seen
Dino Attack sets that are pretty close to that.
I swear they have also like Lego grease guns. I swear I'm gonna look this up right now. I'm pretty sure.
There's probably like companies that make like special Lego, like World War II Lego.
Oh yeah, there's tons of Lego knockoffs all over the place.
Yeah, they used to promote
Lego
it.
doesn't do military stuff though. They don't ever do war stuff. The only time they've ever
Yeah.
done anything war related is for Indiana Jones. They made a few sets that are a little bit German based.
Yeah.
Well, actually, funny enough, they were going to do the Osprey, and then they canceled that.
Yeah, it sucks. Absolutely sucks. That's such a
I
cool
would have
technic set.
loved to have that.
Yeah.
Hype Guy, do you have any passions besides Transformers?
For me, I consume Lego media. Like I watch a lot of Lego stuff. I mean, really, only Lego Star Wars is the only thing I pay attention to. But I do like Lego Star Wars, even though I have like 2 sets, because Lego is so ridiculously expensive. I can't buy anything.
Yeah.
Not to mention, every time I buy a Lego Star Wars set, I build it, and then I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, yeah, I could have bought Transformers instead.
That's the way I feel all the time.
I feel that.
I just want to point
so-
out with the discussion earlier, I have a Lego guy that has a revolver.
Yeah, it's got. They did have a revolver for. They don't do war is the thing, specifically war.
No,
So like they did like cowboys and stuff like that.
yeah, it's a cowboy.
Yeah, there
guy,
is a
but-
Lego revolver. Yeah, there is a little revolver piece. But
Yeah.
anything else I do with Lego Star Wars. I like Star Wars, of course. If I like Lego Star Wars, I must like Star Wars.
I was about to ask, like, you just Lego?
Actually,
yeah,
one of the
of course I
earliest
know.
Star Wars Lego sets I had, they used the revolver for the droidica.
Oh yeah.
They're no
I
match
know
for
what you're talking
droidicas.
about. But yeah, that's really it. It's just Transformers, Star Wars. Those are the main things. Besides that, nothing really much. Everything's kind of secondary. Besides that.
I know that feel.
One final question from me. Do you think we're getting a Transformers 1 sequel?
That's again like a really long, lengthy discussion that you don't know a lot of things. But there's a lot of things that you can say in favor of it and not in favor of it. So obviously the box office numbers are not very high, obviously. But
Yeah.
Lorenzo himself has mentioned in interviews that it's a learning experience, and they know that they messed up with the first trailer. They acknowledge that. They know that they
Really?
messed up with. Yeah, I think he said it in the triple takeover podcast with Sixo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he mentioned that they know they messed up with that first trailer. They know they did. So, I really hope that they're gonna see everything that happened with this movie, and instead of just not doing a sequel, they're gonna go ahead with the sequel, but learn a lot from this first movie and apply it to the sequel so the sequel is a lot more successful. There's been a report that I forgot to make a tweet on again. I keep telling myself I need to make a tweet on it, but I keep forgetting. Deadline reported that the budget of $75 million is a little deceptive because the budget was split between 3 studios. It was split between Hasbro, Paramount, and another studio that I can't remember. But if that is the case, then that means that Paramount only spent $25 million on this movie.
Wow.
So if that is true, if that report is true, then a sequel is honestly a lot more likely than we would think. Because if they only spent 25 million, we're looking at the raw box office numbers, 25 million to 130 million. It's a big difference, right? We don't know how much they spent on marketing. Given this film, they may have not spent a lot.
It looks like they didn't. One would hope that they've not spent a lot, given the marketing.
Yeah. So
Right.
we'll see how it goes. I'm hopeful for a sequel, especially from all the fan reaction and secretly
Yeah.
I did all this. I say I did it for the box office, but I really and truly did it to just make noise. Want people to see the movie and let Paramount know that they want more of this. At the end of the day, that's what I want.
Right.
I want to happen. Like I would have loved to see TF1 do a lot better at the box office, but at the end of the day, once I get a sequel, I'm happy. And I think a sequel will do
Yeah.
So-
numbers. I think it'll do a lot better.
I just
Um,
want to
and
point
I
out
will-
the other production company is New Republic Pictures.
There you go. So you found the Deadline article then?
No, I just searched it up, and that was the other two
Okay.
are Di Bonventuro Pictures and then Bayfilm Pictures, but I don't know.
Oh
how
no,
much
those
they
are just
got.
the producers.
Yeah, exactly.
The one that actually spent 25 million. That might actually be that one. I think it actually is that one.
Another thing I would point out is that like recently it turns out like the Dungeons and Dragons movie like was just doing fucking numbers on streaming and
Yeah, which is another thing. That's another factor. That's why. That's why when I say that it's a very lengthy discussion, it's because there's so many factors in play right now that you can think about. Streaming numbers, especially DVD sales, all of that stuff has to play into the fact if we're gonna get a sequel.
and I swear
I
they
can
better make
see
a
them-
fucking sequel to that Dungeons and Dragons movie because that Dungeons and Dragons movie fucking ruled.
I only watched it this year and it was great. It was really good. And
I
honestly,
could
I wish
see
I went to see it
them
in theaters.
doing a less budget animated show or film for Paramount Plus because they did that with the TMNT movie.
I hope they don't though.
Yeah.
I hope they don't
Oh, like,
because I feel like yes, it's more content, but at the same time, I really want this to be a complete trilogy. Just 3
movies that are incredible, that are the full story. There's nothing additional that you need to watch to get context or anything. You watch these 3 movies and you have an excellent time.
I mean, it's definitely a movie that doesn't feel like it's going to be a one-up because it leads up to like an obvious.
At the end of the 3 movies, they can do whatever they want. They can do a TV show. They can do whatever they want, right? I just want to have a really, really, really good complete trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure I feel... I mean, that sounds great, but I would like, I think it'd be cool if they did something like the TMNT show where it's like a prequel even, like with the 13 Primes, getting to see more of them or something like that.
Oh, that would be...
I'd like that.
That would be really cool. I would love a prequel series.
And here's another factor to consider. CGI is incredibly expensive to start making a series with, right? Because CGI is, you're just putting in so much work to start. But once you have the models, you have them. They're done.
Yeah, they have
you can
the
just pose them
assets.
anyway.
Yeah.
It is much cheaper to continue on with CGI than it is to start. So the movie, even if it's not like super profitable, the next one will be even cheaper to make because they have. I am amazed that they put so much effort in because they have like those assets for the 13 Primes. They have like all the assets for like the background characters. They made a shitload of models for this movie, and that's the hard part. And now that they have all those, all they gotta do is just like animate them. And they're probably gonna have like some more upgraded forms or something in the sequel. I can't imagine that they're not going to do anything with that. But like 90% of the work is done, so the next movie would be cheaper and it would be much more likely to turn a profit, especially considering the word of mouth of this movie is so good. So that's probably also a factor that's going into should we make another one of these.
I gotta admit, Nexus Prime looks like Blitzwing.
Yes, everyone. Like I kept saying, every time I saw him, I was like, "Is that like just make his head not yellow, okay? Like that's all you needed to do." And I wouldn't have thought this.
Okay. Anyone have any more questions for Hype Guy, or we? All
I
good?
do, but I'm not gonna say them.
Fuck you.
Man, fuck your interview, buddy. Fuck your interview.
He's already answered a few questions already, so it's like, damn.
No, any questions you have, go ahead. Go right ahead.
No, he's saving them. He's saving them
for himself
because
like
he wants to make his own video.
He's saving them for himself like a selfish bitch.
For real.
You can't see me, but I'm rubbing my hands together.
If you got this far, say T-Fan, do better. Hit him with a T-Fan, do better.
No,
guys, hashtag dumb Jake, do better.
No, just hit him with a T-Fan, you a dumb bitch.
No. They'll get flagged.
Do it! Do it!
Okay. Everyone can find Hype Guy at Twitter. I'll have the link in the description. Anything you want to shout out, Hype Guy?
Nope, just my Twitter.
This is your moment. Like it doesn't have to be like about you. What do you want to shout out?
Just my Twitter. That's the only thing.
I like to thank my mommy and my daddy.
Fool, we're giving you an option. Shout out the movie. Go see the movie.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, I said that in my introduction, so I think I covered my bases there. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone who's listening to this have already seen the movie. And if you haven't seen the movie, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. And if you're watching this podcast and you haven't seen the movie yet, like, I mean, maybe you live in like England or something like that, where the fucking staggered release.
It's out everywhere besides France.
Why is the stinking staggered releases are so stupid?
No, they really are.
Yeah.
They really are really stupid.
Okay, well, you can find all us at our channels. Please like and subscribe. Join the Patreon or membership.
Don't forget to watch
Megalopolis.
What the hell is this movie?
It's Megalopolis.
Don't forget to watch Joker 2, Folly Adieu.
No.
And thanks for watching the show, the podcast.
We're sorry.
You know what's weird about Folly Adieu is the fact that like there was an actress I'd never heard of, and the day that Folly Adieu came out, I like looked up this actress I'd never heard of, and the first movie she was ever in was a movie called Folly Adieu, and I was like, what the fuck? There's a glitch in the Matrix going on right now. Anyways, I've been an asshole. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.